The Warzone weekly challenges for Season 2 are tough, but there's one challenge in particular that is much harder than the rest, so I wanted to make a kind of guide on how you can complete this challenge quickly, whilst also having some fun at the same time. The challenge in Week 2 of the Warzone weekly challenges tasks you with destroying 5 enemy vehicles. Now it doesn't actually require you to kill an enemy from a vehicle, but by destroying a vehicle you'll likely down them in the process anyway. An enemy vehicle is classed as any vehicle that has an enemy inside of it, so you can't just destroy a vehicle that an enemy has been in recently. The enemy has to be in the vehicle whilst it's being destroyed, and I wasn't really sure how I was going to do this until I remembered a favourite pastime of a lot of people back in the Warzone 1 days. All you need is a helicopter, some C4 and a little bit of patience. So I decided to load into Verdansk solos and grab a helicopter. Getting C4 is kinda tricky because you can get them from loot crates, but it's random, so you're better off just getting your loadout with C4 as part of the lethals instead. Heading over to the bunkers on Verdansk isn't a good idea though, because at this point most people know the locations and the codes to get in them, so I realised I was better off either looting in random low threat areas or just waiting for the free loadout drop if I absolutely had to. Once you've got your loadout though, fly somewhere in the helicopter and then just set the bait. One thing I hadn't realised though is that some people won't take helicopters even if they're close to them, because if they're not in their spawn locations, they somehow don't really notice that they're there, so it meant I was waiting for quite a while for anyone to approach them. As soon as someone gets in the helicopter though, a double tap of the reload button and boom. That's 1 out of 5 enemy helicopters destroyed. In my next game I did the same thing, helicopter, loadout, C4 and wait, and sure enough 2 out of the 5 enemy vehicles were promptly destroyed. Another option you can take if you're bored of waiting for people to take the bait of a helicopter is to use a Joker legacy weapon from Modern Warfare 2. It is significantly less fun than using C4, but it does work very well. I realised though that more people than I thought were actually using the C4 trick on helicopters. I spotted this helicopter parked on the train station roof, and when I used the Joker missile on it, I saw in the score feed I destroyed 2 C4s, but I didn't get a kill, so the other player obviously had the same idea as me. So just bear in mind at the moment, if a helicopter isn't in its normal spawn area, it could be rigged. For kill number 3, I got a little impatient and decided to try out a Joker on a passing helicopter, which I thought the player driving it would bail out before the rocket hit, but for some reason they didn't, and promptly became 3 out of 5 destroyed enemy vehicles. Kill number 4 was much the same as the first 2. I did wonder whether I should take out any other player helicopters passing overhead, but I decided it was more fun to just bait the helicopters, rather than shoot them down, and of course, kill number 4 came along pretty quickly. Leaving the helicopters in the middle of the circle where lots of people are going to pass through is definitely the best method for setting traps. The only issue I had was finding good places to hide. Finally, kill number 5 came pretty fast and was a textbook scenario of leaving the helicopter in a really high traffic area for someone to come along and try and take. If I'm being honest, there is a lot of waiting around for people to actually notice the helicopters before they decide to try and take them, but it sure does feel good when you manage to get some of these things to work. So that's 4 traps and 1 Joker later, and the challenge is complete. Week 2 is done, and some quick tips that I feel are important is, firstly, don't put C4 on the helicopter if you're still flying it, because if one of them gets hit by someone shooting you as you fly past, you'll definitely die and give them progress towards their challenge instead. My second tip is I'd suggest letting people damage the helicopter at most to about half health, because it means when the C4 does go off, it's guaranteed to destroy the helicopter. And third and finally, always try and leave the helicopter somewhere very busy and central within the circle. People don't seem to look at the minimap that much, so they're not going to always spot a helicopter that someone has left in an unusual place. But that's it, that's how you can destroy 5 enemy vehicles and complete the Week 2 challenge in Season 2 of Warzone. Let me know in the comments if you've tried this and how you've got on with this challenge. Thanks for watching, make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more Warzone content like this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Goodbye!